and an emotion for me to read. And I looked down, my Bible was laid open to Matthew 1. And so I started reading. I got through a chapter like 3 or 4 words at a time because there was water coming out of my eyes. I couldn't read very well. And I finally said to him, I said, I can't hardly read here. I don't know what this is about. What's going on? And then he said this to me. He said, I will raise this up, and I will raise that up, and I will put this down, and I will put that down. But what's important is that my gospel be preached. And it was pretty much instantaneous. I felt like 1,000,000 pounds fell off me, and I realized, I was there for the summer. I was appointed for the summer, and whatever the reasons for it to be closed down, its time was up, and that was that. And that there'd be other things. And anyway, that was the pretty much changed my view of the way things are, if you would. And I started having a lot of different visions and stuff. And you get what today I'd call reading someone's mail or getting a download. You'd meet somebody, and the Lord would give you a lot of information. And the scripture is called the word of knowledge or something. You get information that would help you help them. And you would know what's going on or what's about to happen or what you can do for them, that kind of thing. And so a lot of that kind of stuff is happening. And one day I was, I had was working. There's a job service thing that they have for the college to help fund your tuition and stuff. And not connected with the university job works program. Anyway, and I was working the cafeteria line, serving during lunch in between classes. And there was a gal there. Her name was Kathy, and I was married, had a 9-month-old, year-old, and it was a really great time of my life. And anyway, and this gal was there, and there was actually a 3 people there, and you could kind of talk about the Lord a little bit, but it was edgy. And there was a couple of times she opened up, and she wanted to hear what I had to say. So there were some good moments. And then, of course, after the semester's over, we all went our separate ways. I never saw her. About 6 months later, I was walking through the student union, and I hear someone yell my name, Rick. And I look over, and it's Kathy. And I was like, wow, okay. And so I'm walking to her, and I look up, and just boom, like that, she, and I can't even describe the effects of this vision. It was a vision, but it was like real. And she like turned into a skeleton, and she was talking. And I remember it hitting me so hard that I said to myself, I think I'll faint. I think I might faint. And I remember being by a post, and I remember grabbing the post, because if I fainted, maybe it would not be very long, and I could still keep myself from falling. And I think I did blink a little. And I came to, and she was still there, still a skeleton, and I looked down at the ground and just kind of shook it off and prayed a little bit. After a few moments, she came back normal, and she was looking at me like, are you okay? Because she knew something had happened. And I said, I think I just need a breath of fresh air. And so I left, and the Lord asked me to go back and talk to her. I was there that was an important thing for me to go talk to her. And I was like, I can't take this. This is, it's just so shocking. And so I didn't go back. About a week later, I'm walking down campus, and walking to class, almost late, not quite. And I look up, and there's a pink neon piece of paper on one of the message boards. It had a light on it, and I knew I was supposed to go read that. And I was like, I'll read it later, so I kept going. And I got almost to class and it was like, I can't do it. I have to go back and read this. So I went back and read it, and it was an announcement for Kathy's memorial service. And she had passed away that week. So it was only about a week from when I had seen her to this event. And I realized I'd really missed God and what he was trying to do. And I realized the gravity of how a lot of this was affecting me, and so on. And I really wanted some help with it, but it found it hard to talk to people. Anyway, but that's how I ended up in Bozeman, and kind of in there in a time frame. I can't remember when it was, but felt like the Lord said someday there'll be a school, and he used the words, for lack of a better word, a school in Bozeman that was going to have a significant effect, and there again tied into the map vision. So I've kind of always had a hope and wait. I've been waiting for that to occur. And as I got older, a lot of my motivation was to maybe help that. And part of my financial reason for wanting financial resources was to help something like that happen. There's more about that later, but anyway, that's kind of the basics there on how I came to Bozeman and my feel about Bozeman.